Good evening. I'd like to welcome you to the Monday, November 4th, 2024 Smithfield School Committee meeting. Before we begin, could we please stand and say the pledge and flag? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. In case of an emergency, there are two main exits out of the Media Center. They are located to the right and left side of the Media Center through a set of double doors. Proceed to follow the exit signs to the exit doorways. There are restrooms located outside of the Media Center through either side of the double doors. There's a public comment sign-up sheet at the front here. If you need to talk during the public comment portion, please sign on that. And if anybody speaks during any portion of the meeting, please speak at the podium. First item of business, number 4, consent agenda items. 4.1, approval of minutes. Approval of the open minutes of the October 21st, 2024 school committee meeting. Approval of the sealing of executive session minutes of October 7th, 2024. Approval of bills, regular bills totaling $331,654.45. Direct checks from October 22nd, 2024 through October 31st, 2024, totaling $15,496.31. Lunch bills totaling $76,676.20. Approval of homeschooling on the attached list. This will require a motion.
Motion to approve consent agenda items.
Motion has been made. Second. Any questions or comments? Mr. Zaragoza, yes.
On the homeschool, are those numbers comparable with other communities? Do we have any, is that something we've ever checked on?
We have not done any comparisons to other communities.
Just curious, it's a decent number, 70 is a decent number. And I was just curious as... Okay, sounds good. Yes.
Any other questions or comments? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Against nay, the ayes have it. High school student representative report.
This past weekend, the Smithfield High School girls field hockey team won state championships against Classical High School. Tomorrow, the class of 2026 is having a fundraiser at Jersey Mike's, so any purchases made within a certain time period will support us specifically. Additionally, the National Honor Society is raising monetary donations as well as hygiene items and non-perishable snacks to support hurricane victims in Apple Valley, North Carolina.
Thank you.
Any questions or comments? If not, thank you very much.
Thank you.
We will move on to item number 6. Discuss, review, and approve the district's virtual learning plan for the 2024-25 school year.
Mr. Chairman, this is a requirement of the school committee to approve it. This is also reviewed by our NEA colleagues as well. This is our plan should there be an emergency where we needed to shut one or more schools. The plan is exactly the same as in past years, and it has been right approved.
Okay. This will require a motion to approve
So moved.
and a second.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. Questions or comments? Anyone? Something we do every year, and it is required. If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Against nay, the ayes have it. Item 7, discuss, review, and approve fiscal 25 budget line item changes.
Good evening. We have two budget line item changes before you this evening. One is from the Special Education Department for the allocation.
Testing.
It works.
All right, we're good.
Left over from Halloween.
It's not the order.
That would be wishful thinking.
Yeah, sure. But there's someone in Liverpool. We are rolling it.
Somebody has probably got a wireless mic.
It's not really how that works.
Yeah, somebody in the auditorium?
There were some people down there when I came.
We are rolling in 3.
Kind of interested.
Should we change channels? We're not using it right now? Okay, so I can shut it off then. Are we okay?
It's just the cordless mic, that's.
Yeah, if you want to try that one, it should be okay.
These are okay.
Perfect.
Thank
Thank
you.
you very much.
Thank you. Okay, so the first one is the Special Education Department. It's a reallocation of funds for social worker purchase services in the amount of $17,955. The second one is a reallocation. These are all still from the tuitions, but it's moving between CTE and charter school tuitions for, again, as the budget goes on, we change up and down, and that's for $12,484 plus $3,121 for a total of $33,560.
Okay. This will require a motion,
So moved.
okay, and a second.
Second.
Motion made and second. Questions?
Just a quick question. The CTE tuition, is that a one-time yearly payment for $10,000, or is that a first installment?
So what we do is we actually, what I do is we encumber for the whole year.
Mhm.
So that would be for the annual amount of money. And so what happens is when we put the budget out last January, February, or even in July when we actually had a revision and then the school committee approved it, these are the changes between it. So that number is going to be representative of what we need annually that was maybe short. It doesn't
Okay.
necessarily mean it's 1 or 2 or 3. It just means that's what was short once we encumbered what we know of today.
Thank you for clarifying.
I just have a quick question.
Yes.
The transition services to the high school, maybe you just said it and I was just looking behind it. I don't know. It's 17,955 was the decrease, and then it was allocated to the social worker. What was the decrease for the transition?
So that's where they're taking it from. They're taking it from that line and moving it to the
Okay.
social worker line. So the decrease represents, that's the line that they're using
So
right
they're
now.
taking it out of that transition program and then...
And putting it into the social work where it's necessary because of the needs for the social work services.
Any questions, comments? Okay, motion is made and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Against, nay. The ayes have it. Item 8, discuss, review, and approve budget calendar for fiscal '26.
Great, thank you, Mr. Chair. In your packets, you have a proposed FY26 budget calendar for you to discuss and approve. This does lead us up to what we need to submit to the town. So we just changed the dates to Thursdays starting in January.
Okay, and I do have a question. February 28th is the day that our approved budget is supposed to go to the town manager's office.
Right, it's due by March 1st.
Great, okay. Because in the past, there's always been some, when are you going to get it here? When are you going to get it here? So, get it here on March 1st, right? So we're going to get it there on March 1st. Very good. Okay. This will require a motion
So moved.
and a second.
Second.
Motion has been made and second. Any further questions? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Against, nay. The ayes have it. Item 9, discuss, review, and approve to increase boys ice hockey assistant coach stipend by $259 to be equal to the girls ice hockey assistant coach.
So in our meetings with the athletic director, also with school committee member Torregrossa, we took a look at all of the athletics and looking at how we can improve certainly the stipends over a set number of years. We did see a glaring disparity in this particular winter sport. So when we looked at the head coach position, which is actually the next item, we felt that we also needed to look at the assistant coach as well. If we were going to propose parity for the head, to also do it for the assistant, it is the same. It is the same sport.
Motion to approve the increase in the ice hockey assistant coach stipend by $259.
Second.
Motion made and second. Any questions, comments? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Against, nay. The ayes have it. Item 10, discuss, review, and approve increase in the girls ice hockey head coach stipend by $521 to be equal to boys ice hockey head coach.
So again, this is where, one of the biggest disparities between two equal sports. So to be able to have parity, again, this was a collaborative discussion, including our athletic director. It was brought up in a school committee meeting, so we did look very closely, and we felt that we could cover that through the general fund this year.
This will require a motion and a second.
Motion to approve the increase the girls' ice hockey head coach stipend by $521.
Second.
Motion has been made and second. Any questions or comments? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Against, nay. The ayes have it. Item 11, discuss, review, and approve superintendent participation as a member of the AASA governing board in Louisiana on March 4th through 8th, 2025. Cost not to exceed $4,000.
So this is part of me being part of the National Superintendent's Governing Board. There are two conferences a year. One is paid for through AASA and RISA in the summer. When I took this on, the second one, unfortunately, travel and cost of the hotel, I'm bringing it to the school committee to entertain that. Me attending this as part of it. The governing board, I do represent the Rhode Island superintendents as well as Smithfield and part of the regional committee.
Okay, this will require a motion and a second.
So moved.
Second.
Motion has been made and second. Any further questions? Mr. Case.
Just curious if the Rhode Island Superintendent Association, are they kicking in any funds, or is this purely on Smithfield to cover?
This one would be Smithfield. The first one in July is covered through RISA.
And it's not to exceed, so there's the anticipation it may come in under for 4 days?
Yeah, it
Okay.
definitely, actually it's 5 days, but yes, I anticipate it will, but I put in inflated, just because airfare can vary depending on when it is, as well as the hotel cost, which I did lock in.
It gets expensive. She goes and sleeps in a bayou from night.
You can't check a bag.
Okay, any further questions, comments? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Against, nay. The ayes have it. Item 12, discuss, review, and approve the OPM for capital projects at Smithfield Public Schools and for the district team to enter into negotiations. This will require a motion and a second.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and second. Superintendent?
So this is for stage 1 and stage 2 to be focused at the secondary level, both the high school and the middle school. This is looking at the priority capital plans from the school committee. So again, in interviewing the 6 different firms that came in, the committee met, scored, had presentations by 4 of the committees. Colliers was the unanimous choice of the committee to go forward as a recommendation for negotiations. This also requires us, after the school committee, if it approves it, to go before the town council on the 12th and then to enter into negotiations.
And this particular OPM is a little different than when we actually get to phase 3 or 4, where they're involved with the contractors and the actual projects. This one is more to do with planning, setting up timelines, giving us preliminary budgets, things like that. But it is important because this is key to us getting reimbursement from the state. So. Okay, motion has been made and seconded to approve Colliers. And we probably want to make that, put that into the actual motion. We did not have it. So we will add to that if there's any problem, Mr. Terragrossa or Ms. Pfeffer, who made the motion and second the motion, we'll add Colliers as the actual approved company. Okay. All right. No further questions? Yes, Mr. Case.
No, Jess,
Here we go.
hand up.
Yes.
Do you have the rubric that was used for the scoring and any of the information that you can share on the other companies, and if there was someone close as a second that we have as an alternate, or how that process worked out?
Yes, we do have the rubric. So first, based on the qualifications of the packets that came in after the tours of the building and the proposals, there was a rubric, so that was scored just by their proposals, and then we also scored on a rubric. So I do have copies of both of those. And all of the companies that came and presented certainly are capable and qualified. The committee, in terms of the discussion, Colliers had the most experience, has the experience in terms of working with Smithfield, was the firm that had done the elementary school project here, and we felt could get up and running very quickly, particularly considering we would be putting in for an emergency to be able to do some of the renovations earlier than next year.
And I wasn't present during the elementary school renovations. Did we have a much better response
They were fantastic.
from?
I don't know, Richard was on the
nothing like
building
what we're
committee, so he
dealing
may
with
know
now?
better, but.
Yeah, well, the Colliers was the OPM for the phase 3 and 4. They were not the phase 1 and 2 OPM. They did a good job. I'm not going to say, it was a big project. It was bigger than the high school football field and track, but they did a good job. Yeah.
They were on time and on budget.
Two very critical things.
And during COVID.
Yes.
So-
Yeah. And with killdeer that were nesting in the McCabe
That's right.
center. Had to move an endangered species or work around them. Yes, Mr. Case.
No, just to clarify, because we've been talking about this and all these projects. We're ideally doing this to save a significant amount of money, but right, having them come in, look at all the scope of these projects rather than have come in and look at individual aspects. That's the whole idea.
Well, it's not just to save money so much as to plan
Well,
it
it's
so
a
that we
big
know what
picture.
order, but also if for every dollar, we potentially get 35 cents. That can go into other projects. So that by doing it this way, yes, there hopefully should be some, they should be able to tell us, oh, do this before you do this, because, but really the major reason here is to get our reimbursement from the state and to get that extra money.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, if I may?
Yes.
Just to add a little bit to that, Mr. Case, so each district is required to have a 5 or 10-year plan on file with RIDE master plan, and so that's like the goal, and then to concentrate in 5 years, so as Mr. Iannatelli said, so we can get reimbursement. So the goal is to have them do a stage 1 and 2 with a master plan of approximately 10 years, and the goal to get a approval for stage 3 and 4 for the first 5 years of what the planned projects are.
Exactly. Any further questions or comments? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Against nay, the ayes have it. Item 13, the update on the Boyle project.
Mr.
Someday,
Mancucci?
there will be no update on the Boyle project.
We can only hope.
We
I
can
saw a
hope.
flagpole.
Whatever. Yes.
Good evening. So, here we are again. I think Robin, this is off the agenda,
Absolutely.
no one more than myself. So, the drop ceilings have been installed in the concession and ticket stand area. Also, the lighting and the heating outlets are all functional. The electricians were in last week. All the outlets are active and interior and exterior, and you notice the exterior lighting that was put up and the lighting on the outside of the building has been completed. We also installed the blank pavers. That is in its first phase because I think this week we ship the engraved pavers, and hopefully by next week we can be installing sections of the actual engraved pavers. So you'll notice that we just have a stone dust base on the pavers that are in place, but they're locked in place. And as soon as we get them, we'll install them. I believe we have, if next week we get our first, I think it's 51 pavers that will go in that area. I think 69 are delivered, but there's some larger ones, which will determine where those will go at a later date. But we're ready to go on that. The next shipment, I think, is December, but we'll probably go spring. Also, if you noticed, stars and stripes are flying in the plaza entry, so the flagpole and flag are in place with illumination. So that's where we stand, and hopefully Wednesday of this week, the roll-up door goes in. As I said last week, I'll believe it when I see it, but I really think Wednesday will be.
Okay. Questions? Ms. Sal?
The outlets, are they all on one wall? Are they all on one wall? Someone
No.
reached out and some of the outlets
There
were,
is-
so we started with one, right, and we knew that was a problem, and so additional were added. Are they dispersed along
No,
the
so if
entire
you-
concessions box?
So if you enter the concession area, you'll have 5 on one wall at what I'll call cabinet height.
Okay,
That's normally where you would put crock pots in
Yep.
that area. Wraps around towards the sink, to the right side of the sink, you have 2 GFIs, one for refrigerator, one for freezer. Turn around, roll up door, 2 designated outlets, one on each side of the door.
Okay.
Additionally, 1 outlet inside the ticket booth in case they need it.
perfect. Thank you
All
very much.
active and live.
Thank you. And then after the roll-up door, what else are we waiting on for full approval to operate?
For full approval to operate, you really should have, there's an epoxy floor that should go in, and maybe I'll discuss with the Booster Club. Once we're done with the roll-up door and I get tools out of there, we may have a conversation, because we have heat, and if we can limit our ability on what we serve, we should be inside. So I'm hoping to get that for Thanksgiving. So that's my goal. And it should, if the roll-up door is in, and we have finished all the thresholds today, there's really nothing else in the contract to do other than the outside repair of the
Those
overhang.
things, yep.
That'll be done during the winter,
Okay.
after Thanksgiving.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Questions? Oh, Ms. Case, I'm
Sorry, just the
sorry.
roll-up, is that in transit? Do we, know is that still being manufactured?
Oh, no, it's manufactured, it's ready. So we had,
Do we know where it is?
it'll be in by Wednesday, so
Okay.
we'll know, hopefully it'll be on our field. But my piece is in dealing with this, now, not the site contractor, the actual manufacturer of the roll-up door, but 3 inspectors come out to inspect the rough opening to say, okay, it's the right size. They won't send their crew out until they prove that it's ready for install as part of their, protocol. So I've had 3 inspectors come out, measure the RO, say everything's fine, and yet another date will pass. So I got a firm verbal today from the site contractor, and was on the call that they'll be here on Wednesday, and we'll go from there.
Thank you.
One more question.
Yes. you may
How
ask.
about the lettering that's
The-
going on the box, or the screen fencing,
The screen,
the screen
what I
print
call
for
the
the fence?
windscreen,
Yes, sorry.
that is in production, and they measured out that, I can check on that, because I thought that should be within the next 2 weeks. When you say the lettering, there's 2 types of lettering.
On the concession.
There's one that identifies restrooms concession. He's making the, what they call back blocks for the lettering, and then that will be going up. And then there's also the enclosure of the mechanical room to be done.
What about the Sentinel?
That's what I mean by the enclosure of the mechanical room. That's
Got
a
it.
composite that goes from base to overhang.
And that's still in production?
No, we're waiting to get to that. That's still to be,
But have we received what we're actually putting up? Isn't it?
no, it's just a composite that will go up, and I'm not sure if we're even gonna go with this contractor to do it. So we're just trying to get this completed, because the mechanical room is self-sufficient. It has its own roof, and we're looking to make sure we get through with everything else first.
Mhm.
Trying to just get this online.
Yep. Okay. Thank you.
Anything else? Yep. Mr. Terry Rosa, do you have a question? No. I guess we're all set then.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, we'll move on to item 14, discuss select a school committee member to be part of the school building committee. It does say discuss and select. Personally, I think we should just discuss it now. Let the next school committee select it, since the project still has to be approved by the town council.
Correct.
And then we'll be off and running. But, Madam Chairman, why don't you, Madam
Great.
Superintendent, why don't you go ahead and tell us
We've got a
about
promotion
this.
tonight, thank
Yes, you
you. This is certainly the regulations require a minimum, at least 1 school committee member is included, as well as the superintendent, finance director, or facilities manager, and certainly there are also positions that the town has as well. For a minimum of 8. Also of import are to have at least one community member with a background in engineering or architectural. So this makes sense for us to build this as part of our facilities project, as part of the district improvement team, and certainly to reach out to our community for volunteers who would want to be on this building committee as well. In terms of timeline, Mr. Chairman is absolutely correct. Tonight, the school committee voted. We are on the agenda for the OPM approval on the town council at their special meeting on November 12th. So once that second approval occurs, then we can actually start negotiations and form the building committee. So we have at least another meeting prior to getting this group going.
Questions on that? Everybody safe with that? We won't do any selection tonight. We'll wait until, once it's approved by the town council, and then the whole committee can be put together, including our members. All right, everybody's good with that? We're going to move on then to item number 15. This is strictly discuss electronic sign RFP proposal responses.
Right, I just put this just to update the school committee. So the donation from the class was for $15,000. So on the bid tabulation came out that the next lowest cost for that scope of the sign is almost $24,000.
So the class of 21 donated 15 for this, and obviously we'd have to close a gap here. So, Mr. Gross, did you have?
I was just wondering, I'm assuming we didn't take the lowest bid, you probably did some vetting and stuff like that and found out something we should know?
Because it wasn't 15,000.
They did not meet the requirements of the RFP.
Okay, that's easy.
So, yeah, you can change an RFP. I mean, I don't know, obviously an RFP was put together. The whole idea of this, or the concept of this, was to put it out front on Pleasant View Avenue so that things can be seen by cars passing by, the public, etc., as opposed to putting it down here, closer to the school, where you can only see it if you come into the school and all that, where most of the kids and faculty and staff and all that already know things that are going on for the most part. So yeah, something would have to be done on this here to deal with it. So again, it is discussed. We will bring it up at a future point. I mean, we're not going to be putting it in the middle of the building anyhow. The electric connection is sitting out there, ready to go. But now we need to decide on this at a future point what to do. So
Can we?
any input? Yes.
Well, I want to see the sign go in. Obviously, we can't grow money. The 15,000 is pretty good seed money if it's going to be 25,000. So can we possibly get some minds together? Where can we can't keep tapping into the fund balance. I get that. I think we're tapped out on Boyle, right? We expended everything at Boyle. It'd be great not to say you guys make it rain sometimes, but sometimes you find we have a few dollars here, a few there. I wouldn't want to take away from, instruction or anything like that, but we're on our way there, so we need about, what, 10,000? Is that 25,000 include installation and everything? That's everything? Because I know you already have the electrical roughed in, which is great.
Yes, that's totally
Okay.
all site work, preparation, delivery, installation,
Okay.
warranty.
Okay. And then I'm just curious, did they include like a design feature? Is there a Sentinel on it? Does it say Smithfield?
There is a design
Okay.
and a height requirement.
Okay. It would be great if you guys could put your minds together and see if you have any recommendations or options on where we could either find money, or do we need to resort to, are there other classes that have money left over? Sometimes like the class of 2022 didn't expend all of their funds. Like, do we have anything like that? So I know you can't do that this second, but.
We can't do that this second, but certainly it's something that we know that the school committee, that our community wants to have. So I think we also have to take a look at fundraising as well. So I think that is absolutely on the table. So I'd like to be able to bring back to the school committee some options so that we are not taking additional money out of our reserve funds so that we can see and really publicize. We're a little bit short on this project, but it is something that is near and dear to our school community, our alumni, as well as the town.
Yeah.
Good.
I think last time, we talked also about like fundraising and local business donations. I know we have our policy in place, but I think that we'd be surprised how many businesses in the community would be willing to contribute to something like that. Classes do have money left over, but that money that's fundraised for each class is fundraised with the purpose of going back to those students. I think it's particularly important to keep this particular project really associated to that class because of how much they missed out on is why we get that $15,000 donation. So I really want to make sure that we do move forward with this, obviously with, due diligence around the finances related to it, but I think it's really important that we keep it, from their class with that purpose of that money. So.
I think you're absolutely right, Mrs. Sala. They've waited a long time. This is really an important project. It'll highlight our school and activities, so let's take a look at what we can do in terms of fundraising.
Okay.
Richard,
Yes.
I know we talked initially about the possibility of advertising. I know we talked about using maybe the back of the scoreboard or maybe a sign. And actually, I know you could probably, maybe you could raise some money because it won't hurt to say football game and then maybe people can actually advertise on it.
Absolutely.
And, every nickel helps.
Every bit helps, and I think we'll look at the other possibilities. Absolutely.
Or, I know just from being involved in different sports organizations around the town, you'd be surprised at the businesses that would give $10,000 just to have their name in a little plaque, a little sign. So there's a lot of awesome local businesses that you put their name on something, they're just throwing money at things. And this sign, it's all on Pleasant View, it'll be there for permanently. I think you could get one donor to just to give it back. So that could be something that I wouldn't mind working with you on that too.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other comments, questions? Okay, sure we'll be seeing that at a future point. Item 16, discuss, review, and approve revised annual school committee calendar for 2025.
So thank you for approving that calendar. When we were going through it and with the scheduling conference that Sarah and I will both be at, I wanted to propose changing one date in February from, I believe it's the 6th, or it would have been the Thursday, we're in New York, to earlier in the week. And again, it's also part of our budget calendar as well, so there would be one Monday meeting in the new year of the school committee.
This will require a motion
Motion to approve adjustment to the school committee 2025 calendar.
and a second.
Second.
Motion made second. Any further questions? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Against nay, the ayes have it. Item 17, discuss, review, and approve on superintendent's salary increase. This will require a motion with the amount in.
You said the amount has to be, the amount's not listed.
Yeah, no, it isn't on that, but it has to be in the motion that we make, is what I'm saying.
Right, well,
Right.
I gotta make the motion to discuss it, but I don't
Yeah.
have the number in front of me to make it.
You want to have a discussion first?
Sure.
We can have a discussion.
Motion to discuss the superintendent's salary increase.
Or you don't need, you can just have a discussion.
Thank
You don't need to move to have it.
Thank
Okay,
you.
so we're opening discussion. Yes. Anybody discuss? Anything to discuss?
No?
Okay. Proposal, then we need a proposal. The recommendation, I'll put it out forth, it's 2.75%. Further discussion?
Well, we had executive session, which we can't talk about, but we certainly had the opportunity to discuss past increase with this increase, and felt pretty confident that the superintendent has done an admirable job under difficult circumstances, and I think we came to some consensus on percentage increase.
Yes.
Okay, that's it. Then we will need a motion to approve.
Motion to approve 2.75% increase to the superintendent's salary.
And a second.
Second.
Motion is made second. Okay, any further discussion or comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Against, nay. The ayes have it. Item 18, communications, a copy of resignations, retirements, new hires in the district, a copy of the NEA Smithfield contract for the 24 to 27 years, a copy of October 2024 budget transfers. And now the superintendent's report.
Great, thank you, Mr. Chair. First, I'd like to thank the school committee. It has been a pleasure, certainly working with everyone, and also recognizing that Mr. Troy Grossa, this is his last meeting, so I want to thank you as well. It is a pleasure working here. Love Smithfield, love this school department. I also, as part of my report, just want to echo what Kaya said. I'm really proud of our field hockey team. This is the first championship they have won since 2013, according to our athletic director, and I just think it's really worth amplifying that even more. They went into double overtimes. They were certainly, many were feeling that they might, they were third place finish, that they would not be the top team. They are the top team. I'm very proud of them. And also their veteran coach, Pan Etheridge. So again, a huge shout out to the girls field hockey team. We have a fantastic athletic program, and again, it's worth mentioning loudly to the community, our field hockey captured the D3 title this year. So congratulations to them, and thank you. Just a quick reminder, schools are closed tomorrow. Our schools are polling places.
Anybody for public forum? If not, I'm assuming nobody has anything for the future agenda items right now?
Not today.
Okay. All right, then, Mr. Case?
Yeah, I just want to take a moment. I know people are looking to get home, but this may or may not be my final meeting, but it's definitely Tony's. And I just wanted to, mark the end of another chapter in his long, kind of historic run here at Smithfield, 57 years. Beginning as a math teacher, athletic director, coach, an incredible amount of sports. But, I mean, to try to calculate the amount of lives that he's positively impacted, it's incalculable. I can't imagine how many kids that you've had a positive impact on, and you've cultivated long-lasting relationships. All you got to do is stand next to Tony at any football meeting, and he's just holding court. People just coming up and, reminiscing about stories, whether it be wrestling or softball. But your actions in the classroom, on the field, you've always focused on working together as a team, fostering respect, equipping students with lifelong skills. You're really an institution here in Smithfield. And you fought to expand and strengthen the athletic department, and look at where it is today. We're celebrating, the success of so many different athletic programs. And I think it's only fitting that your career is kind of coming to a culmination with the advent of a new turf field, which kind of is emblematic of all the impact you've had on our students. So I just want to thank you, truly. You've left such a mark on the district, and thank you so much for your many years of service. Thank you. The statue is under construction.
Yeah, not to piggyback on Ben, but you were my math teacher in 7th grade for a bit here, and not just that, but to sit on the committee, you sat over there, we sat over here, we may disagree, but you have always been respectful. You have always had open conversation. I can't thank you enough for that. It's been a pleasure being on the committee with you, and we'll see you around town, I'm sure, and you'll always be a legend, and you'll always continue to bust my husband up for being his football coach, but I look forward to that. I welcome that always. So, but no, thank you.
Thank you.
Yes?
what he just whispered across the table was for me not to tell everyone that he was my cheerleading coach, and he was. So it was one of the sports that he leaves off his list, but we had no coach my junior year of high school, and he stepped in and was our coach so that we could ride the bus and cheer on for the sports, and we appreciate that. Thank you.
Would have loved to see the demonstrations.
Great, you should see me do that
The-
thing.
He did not choreograph anything, but he did
The
supervise.
split was really good. Mr. Terragrosa started when I was in 7th grade. I remember him in the corridors. I also remember him when I played football there at the high school, and he would tell me all about these days back when he played, and they had no face masks and leather helmets, and we thought he was kidding. But anyway, but anyhow, Tony has been very good for the district, for not only as a teacher, as a coach, but also on the school committee. And your wisdom and your experience has been helpful to all of us. So.
And when we transfer next meeting, I'll say something myself.
Aha. You know, if the election's not certified, whether you know it or not, you have to come back. He thinks I'm kidding. It's been done. Okay, having said that, we have a motion to adjourn.
Would you like to, just in case? Do you want to make that motion?
Yes, can we get the heck, I mean, adjourn, please.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Done.